Is that a blood stain? If you're planning on staying in Philly and see this booking on Airbnb, run. I'm convinced I booked the world's worst Airbnb.
Bro, I'm mad scared of this place. I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. This is the downstairs that has an upstairs and a bedroom, but I'm scared.
Are you stupid or something? I said I'll stay here as long as I want to.
Get the
What up, everybody? I am the Mademoiselle, and this is my channel. Welcome to another video. Happy New Year, happy holidays, happy birthday to me and all the Capricorns in the Yo, y'all already know when Capricorn season come, like I'm cutting up. My birthday is January 5th. If you're my birthday twin, or if you're a Capricorn or just a January baby, make sure you guys comment your birthdays down below. I would love to see who else is part of the gang. As you guys can see, we're going to be talking about the rise and fall of Airbnb because I've been itching to talk about how much Airbnb gets on my freaking nerves. Like, this video is going to be a long one, so get your tea, get your snacks, get everything you need. I got some 1800. You know that 1800 situation, but it comes with like different flavors. Yeah, this shit right here. I got some 1800. Let me know down below what you are sipping on. Before we get started, peep the description box for everything you guys always ask me about down below, including the fact that sometimes when you click on my face, you think you're on the different channel. A lot of you guys, you disappoint me. Why does common sense not common? I know for some of y'all are new. Okay, I've been getting a lot of new subscribers. Hey, but for those of you guys who allegedly been watching me for a while, why I'm getting comments like, "Oh my God, what happened to the standard greeting? Where's the alo oui bonsoir?" Let me break it down. I have this channel. This is my main channel. Hey, rants, reactions, commentary, scams, teacher content, stuff like that. I have my Haitian channel, Haitian voodoo, politics, and folklore. I have my personal channel, which is more so of the personal vibes, the lifestyle, the vlogs, the Mafia Speaks. For whatever reason, you guys are blending them all together, thinking they're all one channel. So check down below right here. Check. Make sure you're on the right channel. Make sure you're subscribed. If you want to check out the other ones, everything is going to be linked down below. I also have separate merch for all the channels. I have a separate, I only have one Patreon. I do have my membership active for this channel as well as my Haitian channel. We had to separate the things because it didn't make sense. I can't be dragging racists and scammers in one video and then talking about how much I love Haiti and Haitian music in another video. And then I'm doing a try-on haul. It just didn't make sense. So that's why we separated the content. It's been separated for years now. Let's hope we keep it together in 2026. All right. So without further ado, let's get into this shit.
I was just playing video game in my room, and I just heard that this crazy music and the bass. So I just came out from the room and I found out my whole house was dominated by them.
Inside the Seven Hills home, pure chaos as hundreds pack in Saturday night to celebrate the end of the year. Here's the problem. This, quote, New Year's banger was thrown by an Airbnb guest who never got permission from the homeowner.
200 of his friends.
Sang-Young Lee, a Cleveland State student, is left picking up the pieces of his trashed home. He now says will cost thousands to repair.
This is the living room. Ooh. Look at the ceiling. The ceiling is about to cave in. Yeah. We're about to leave. Mama getting it. She getting it together. Yes, ma'am. Look at the freaking airbag, y'all. And then they had the audacity to charge us a $250 cleaning fee. Now we're walking into the kitchen area, right? Hey, look at the stove. Please be for real. Please be for real. Like, I feel like I'm pumped right now. This is walking. First of all, what the hell is this, y'all? Look at the vents. Filthy. This is walking into the king bedroom. This is supposed to be the king bathroom. I'm scared to touch anything. Not even gonna lie. Look at the bottom of the door. Look at the floor. I don't even live like this in my own house. Why would I want to come to someone else's house and live like this, stay like this? This is what they advertise as a full bath. right? That's the sink. Look at how dirty the walls and the freaking doors are. This is the bathroom. Look at the blinds. Look at the blinds.
I rented my house out on Airbnb and this is what happened. 29th of January, I got a same day booking request. I was super excited because I actually needed the money, but this is what happened. You can see they started damaging a lot of stuff, took some of my cushions, threw my router down, my home security and my Amazon Alexa, broke my TV screen, punched holes in the walls, broke my shelf, broke my table, bought a new one and chairs. As you can see, there's still tags on them. Ruined all the carpet, stole my comforter, replaced my sheets, broke my shower caddy and poured bleach down this tub, and I just got this refinished and I have to redo it all over again. Poked hella holes into my doors, scratched up my walls, got blood on the carpet, so I have to replace that as well. Took all my towels and sheets for each bedroom. Broke more than half my glasses, more than half my coffee mugs and my wine glasses, and then bought these and replaced them. Broke my cabinet, put random ass food in here, dumped bags of cake, yes, bags of cake in here, and open food, and guess what, more cake. Stole half my silverware, don't know where it's at. Pots and pans also gone. Threw bones and a lot of other stuff down the sink, and guess what, now there's water that stopped up here, so I have to call.
Honestly, Airbnb gets on my nerves, but it was a really good idea while it lasted. Airbnb was founded by Brian Chesky, Joe Gebbia, and Nathan, some shit I cannot pronounce, okay? They had this really bright idea to rent air mattresses, like literally. They were like, hey, we have the space, we could put some air mattresses here. I'm very sure somebody would purchase this if they really needed a short-term stay while they're visiting our area or any area. It was supposed to be a short little experiment, and this blew up to what we know as Airbnb today. It disrupted the industry by transforming what we know as hospitality. A lot of people actually prefer Airbnbs while a lot of people prefer hotels. I'm one of those people that prefers hotels. Airbnbs just genuinely get on my nerves. I'm going to get into that in the rest of this video. This transformed everyday homes into income-generating assets and promised the flexibility and affordability. So Airbnb transformed the everyday homeowner into, honestly, a business owner as well. Basically, you were using your house not only as a house, but it became an asset. It became income. It became something that promised flexibility and was affordable for everyone. But it also became very oversaturated. Fees was ridiculous. Investors started to dip their feet in it, which made it ridiculous. Local legislation wasn't effing with it. The hotels started getting mad. The Airbnb saga is a lot. And of course, a combination of all of this has degraded the guest experience, which is why a lot of people have been dragging Airbnb for fill. What once felt like community hospitality has now turned into a nightmare for a lot of people.
All right, story time on how me and my line sisters were almost part of a sex trafficking scam or some type of scam because we were in Atlanta, you just never know, this past weekend. So we booked this nice little Airbnb because we were trying to have a nice little girls weekend. And around 2 a.m., this random man comes up and is ringing our doorbell. Like, we haven't even that's listed. Pay attention to that because I'll get to it. And from like 2 to 2:30 a.m., he's aggressively ringing this doorbell. Like, we are scared. We're guarding up with some knives and calling Atlanta PD. And it took them over 30 minutes to get there because they basically told us, we'll get there when we get there. Up that man, and I don't know, the whole situation was just like sketchy.
So I'm a solo traveler and I'm on a budget, so I typically stay in hostels or low to mid-range hotels. And it's important to note that in all of my years of traveling, I've never felt unsafe. Until this time. At this point, I'd used Airbnb a few times. I'd stayed mostly with friends, but a couple of times on my own. I'd been traveling for 4 months straight and I just wanted a break, so I wanted to take like 4 or 5 days just in one place where I could just get work done. So I booked a 1-bedroom apartment in Athens. And all of the photos of the listing looked really nice. It looked clean, it looked well designed, it had a lot of light, the perfect spot to work. But something that I would have never thought to notice was that all of the photos in the listing were of the inside of the apartment only. But it had good reviews, so I wasn't worried. I get to the building and it's one of those buildings where it like goes on for a whole block and all of the bottom floor is like tourist shops. So when I check in, I don't meet the host. Outside of the building, there's just a little lockbox where I put in a number he gave me, and I'm pretty sure it's the same number every time. And then I get a physical key out of the box. Then I walk in through this hat shop into the building. And this is where I should have turned around, but I didn't. The whole building looks completely abandoned. There's graffiti all over the walls, paint chipping, there's broken glass everywhere. But the real kicker is that all of the doors are chained up and locked. And I still walked in. So I get up to the 5th floor and I'm feeling less nervous because the 5th floor actually looks inhabited. But looking back, I think it was just 2 other Airbnbs, so I don't think anyone actually lived there. So then I get in and it looks exactly like the listing. It's very clean. I have no reason to worry. And I'm just like, okay, this is good. So then I leave. I just go get lunch and I go to the grocery store, just run some errands. And I really prepare to just kind of spend a lot of time in the apartment doing work. Over the next 3 days, I really only leave the apartment maybe once a day just to, go for a walk, get some fresh air. But it's enough that someone could have seen that I was alone going to this building by myself and they could have targeted me. On the third day, I hear a knocking at the door and I almost go to open it, but then I think, why would I open this? Who is the Airbnb person would text me. They wouldn't just knock on the door. So I don't answer and I just pretend I'm not there. And then the person starts pounding on the door and I'm just completely quiet, pretending I don't exist. I'm freaking out internally. And after a while, he stops knocking on the door, but I can still see that he is standing there because I can see the shadow of his feet underneath the door. He's pacing back and forth and then eventually starts knocking on the door again. And then he starts screaming in Greek. I don't understand Greek. So he's screaming in Greek. I'm freaking out. I push all of the tables and chairs up against the bedroom door, but the bedroom door is made of windows. It's like a studio kind of. But right when this started happening, I texted the Airbnb host, of course, and finally he sent someone over to talk to the person. They're screaming at each other and then all of a sudden it just ends. I don't know what would have happened if I opened the door, but I don't want to know.
On November 17th, this video was shared online by a user named Sydney. Now Sydney had recently checked in to an Airbnb. And that's when her dog began acting strange. You see, whenever her dog tried to climb the stairs, he would freeze in the same spot every time. Now this would start to leave Sydney feeling unsettled. So she began to record to try to document as much as she could. But this would only be the beginning of this rabbit hole. Now this all happens in a quick succession, but after making it to the top of the stairs, she hears running behind her, so she turns around, only to see her dog's leash fly through the air. I'll play it once more, but make sure to listen close. Now possibly, you could make the argument that this is just an overactive imagination, but in the final update, after Sydney tries to record the doorknob turning on its own, she recorded something that cannot be explained. Take a look.
Scary. Okay. Okay, every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
I'm a hotel person. I like to go and forget shit. If I'm traveling, I don't want to think about any responsibilities. I don't want to think about cleaning shit. I barely want to think about eating. I barely want to think about bathing. I want to go on vacation and I want to chill. I want to relax. I'm up early, I'm showered early, and I'm there to enjoy my day. I don't want to have to think about, oh, let me get groceries, let me da-da-da. I don't want to do nothing. Okay, I want my food ready. I want to blink, think that I'm hungry and the food ready. I want to go out, excursion ready. I want to wake up, all right, let me wash my ass, get dressed, go out ready. So Airbnb just pisses me off. Now, if you guys haven't been here before, you would know I'm bipolar. Okay, I have anxiety, ADHD, binge eating, da-da-da. So my main diagnosis is bipolar disorder. However, as many of you guys know, when you have one mental illness, there's other things that follow. Usually if you mitigate one symptom or the main symptom, it will kind of the other ones will subside. But for me, I get triggered by any little thing. And one of the things I get triggered by is extra work and extra steps. Anything that takes extra work, I'm just not going to do, even if it's something simple. Okay, for those of you guys out there with ADHD, y'all already know what I'm talking about. Something as easy as getting out of bed could be hard, especially if I'm not in the mood. Going to the bathroom was something I have to think about 10 times because it's oh my God, I got to go. I got to sit on the toilet. I got to pee. I got to wipe. I got to get up. I got to flush. I got to wash my hands. It's a lot. And a lot of people that don't have neurodivergent situations are That's normal shit. It is for the average person. But for someone like me, extra steps and extra work are things that I genuinely avoid, even if it's something as small as an extra step in the bathroom. You can imagine, right? When I saw people, okay, especially when I was going out with people or traveling with people, they're like, oh, let's just get an Airbnb instead. And I'm going on Airbnb. I see cleaning fees, I see service charge, I see taxes. And they talk about some must clean house when leaving, must clean dishes when exiting, must go to lock box, do that. Too many steps. We'll get off them stress. Get clean the house. The fuck is we actually talking about here? Like, what is the actual point of staying in an Airbnb? Like, honestly, the only reason I would use an Airbnb and the only way I've used an Airbnb is when a certain area had more expensive hotels, right? I like the fact that when I go to a hotel, I like the fact that there's room service in a hotel, okay? If I'm too lazy to go out, room service will bring me food. I like the fact that they will clean my room from head to toe and I don't have to worry about anything. I like the fact that I will get fresh towels. If I forget my toothbrush or my soap or whatever, it's going to be there waiting for me. In Airbnb, probably not. More than likely not. Okay. When I saw that people were actually sitting here paying for houses, and doing all the work to stay in the house, I already was hip to the nonsense. Okay. The only time I've gone to Airbnb was, the time I went to Brooklyn. Okay. I was playing Mas or whatever. I was playing Mas in the West Indian Parade or whatever. So I got one in Brooklyn. It was pretty cheap. And I needed somewhere that was going to allow me to bring Sage because at the time Sage was a baby and I didn't want to leave her at home by herself. So I took her with me there. Any other time I probably would use an Airbnb is if someone else made me, like I put in money into Airbnbs for certain trips, like me and Troy's, anytime we went somewhere, it was always an Airbnb. We've never stayed in a hotel. But it's not something I prefer. I would, again, much rather stay in a hotel. I will say I understand the appeal, right? Like, especially if you're traveling with like a family of 6, it makes more sense to get a house with 4 to 5 or 6 bedrooms rather than get a hotel and have to get like 3 connecting rooms. I get that sometimes you might want to have a small gathering. You don't want to use your own house, right? Even for Media Hustle, if you guys are not aware, I did social media consultations. Okay. Everything again is going to be linked down below. I thought of having like these mixers in Airbnbs that were more intimate. That would basically like, like more like a, like a house mixer thing. And I was like, okay, I could get an Airbnb for that. But these rules, babe. And that's part of the rise and the fall of Airbnb because it's like the rules are endless. The rules are ridiculous. At that point, it's like, I don't even care to book your space. It's like, don't blink, don't breathe, don't do this. Like literally, it'd be like, must arrive at this time, must use the code. Don't hit me up before this time. Only hit me up after this time. Only hit up this email. Only text this number. Don't go behind this door. Don't go behind that curtain. Make sure you clean the dishes. Make sure you do the laundry. It's like, God damn, no gatherings of any kind. Then what the fuck is the point of having the Airbnb? Like, to be honest with you, you can have a gathering in a hotel, but hotels are usually smaller, right? But if I'm going to rent a house, like I'd like to have a party. Not a party, a gathering. Like maybe I want to have some people over. Maybe I'm visiting, Bronx and I got family in the Bronx and I want them to come over. Maybe like 6 people or whatever. And that's when I started realizing like, yeah, like I don't see, I've been peeped that I didn't see the point. Okay. I really didn't. Okay. From the fees to the rules, like that's what killed me and what turned me off from the Airbnb situation. Again, I've stayed in numerous Airbnbs. I do have an account. I've used it before, but more than likely I opt for a hotel before anything. A lot of times, a lot of these hosts, they doing too much.
Thank you so much for choosing Relaxation Bungalow. Here are just a few little housekeeping things before your stay. Check-in is at midnight. We have a midnight check-in. We have a strict midnight policy, and invisible fees do apply after midnight. So the check-in will take place at the alley behind the post office. There you will find my little friend Dave. So behind the car parts bin, there is a garage. You're gonna just start banging on that. Usually Dave is sleeping, but he will usually wake up. And he'll just give you a series of locks and chains to kind of get situated in the house. And once you enter the house, you'll see all these like cozy games and blankets. Those aren't for you. The fridge and freezer camera and alarm will remain on at all times. Do not make any sudden movements. But towels in the house are only for religious ceremonies. Please. We do have someone renting out the front couch right now. And so we don't wake him, please.
Mindful of my rules. Oh yeah, no loud noise past 11 and don't leave any trash on the floor. Yes, and I also have a few additional rules. Oh yeah, sure, what are they? No smoking in the house, no eating or drinking in the basement, do not touch the dog food, water my wife's plants, balance my checkbook, do my taxes, and make sure I get a good refund, pick up my kids from day camp, and of course, arrange my toenails based off of hairiness. Is that clear? Are you serious? Young man, does it look like I'm joking? Also, don't forget to pay the $1,200. Wait, hold on. You said it was $300. That was before the fees. The total is $1,200.
Welcome to our Airbnb. As a reminder, quiet hours start at 5 p.m. We have a noise detector and will ask you to leave if you play any music or snore too loud. When you check out, please take out the trash, mop the floors, wash the dishes, do all the laundry, and make the beds. There are cameras in the living room, kitchen, and bathroom. We're even watching you right now. Checkout is at 9 a.m. sharp. If you are here at 9:01, you will be charged an extra night. We hope you enjoy your stay.
I can't even tell you how many people I know that are banned from Airbnb because of the simplest little thing, because of something they did or didn't do, or something they're accusing someone of doing that genuinely did not happen. Like literally from best friends to cousins. Like I know so many people who get from Airbnb for like the smallest things. And it's like, yeah, you guys are not going to retain people if this is what it is. Like if a host could just sit there and lie on you, or, you know, even vice versa, if a guest could sit there and just lie on you like that and Airbnb is going to take their word for it, is it really worth it? Of course, there's the safety concerns. Let me put the drink down for this. A lot of people don't feel safe in Airbnbs. Personally, I don't think I've never felt unsafe in an Airbnb because I'm very, very particular about the types of Airbnbs that I stay in. People I know personally, to people I've seen online, the safety concerns are genuinely rampant.
We are dealing with an Airbnb horror story. Mind you, we use Airbnb all the time. Nothing like this has ever happened. We're currently hiding in one of the rooms waiting for Airbnb support to get back to us. But anyways, we booked an entire house, right? Entire house. And there was someone staying in the master bedroom with it locked. And the host is literally telling us that they don't have access to the main house, so it's okay. That they're not allowed to leave the room, so it's okay.
No, thank you. Simply no, thank you.
Excuse me? When I tell you we can hear him cough and sneeze, and mind you, he has a window out to the pool where we're going to be hanging out.
I'm pissed.
That does not seem very entire home of you, Mr. Airbnb host.
And very private and peaceful of you.
He like, hi, is this Brian? I'm like, yeah, this is she. He like, I need you to move your car. And I'm like, can I move it later this morning at 7, around 7? Because that's the time I'm getting up. He like, no. He's like, okay, that's fine. Cool, I go back to sleep. Like 2 minutes later, he called me again. He said, actually, no, I need you to move it right now. So I'm like, okay, let me find the key. He like, okay, hang up. So he called me. He like, that's why I'm like, I didn't see no cameras, y'all. But this got me creeped out. So he called. He like, are you want to move it? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for the key right now. And he's like, are you looking? Like questioning. Like, I see you ain't up. I don't know. But I'm not thinking none of it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for the key right now. And he's like, well, I can come down there and help you find it. So at this point, I'm like, come down here. Like, where the fuck he at? So it's already got me nervous. So my nieces, all three, wake up at the same time. They're like, y'all hear footsteps upstairs. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, okay, like, just stay calm. So he called me back. He like, I'm going to come down and help you find it. I say, no, I'm going to find it. At this point, I'm being stern. Although I'm a little scared, I got to be stern because I can't let you know I'm down this motherfucking sweating for real. So I'm like, no, I'm going to find it. So he's like, okay, fine. Like 2 minutes later, y'all, he called me back and he said, like, well, I can't find it. Like, I'm looking for it, but I can't find it. Like, I can move my car in the morning. And he like, no, I need you to move it tonight. And I'm like, why tonight? To remind you, y'all, there is no fucking none. There's no snow in this man's driveway whatsoever. He like, it's 4 a.m. by this time. He like, oh, I need to shovel the driveway tonight, so I need you to move it. And I'm like, shovel tonight? He's like, yeah, I want to go ahead and start right now. So I'm like, okay, this is so fucking weird. Like, you're not about to shovel no driveway there's no snow in here at 4 in the morning. So I'm like, y'all pack y'all shit, we leaving. Like, I just had one of those vibes. I'm like, pack y'all shit, we leaving. So we end up, as we're packing, he called me like 8 or 9 more times. He like, are you coming? So I stopped answering for a minute. Then we called like, are you coming out? I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way out now. And he like, okay. My truck was the only car parked in the driveway. Y'all, he had done pulled in backwards, blocking me in, but you asking me to come out here and move. So I'm like, this shit is getting so fucking weird. So in the midst of us grabbing our stuff, we hearing footsteps go back and forth upstairs. People, we ain't done heard this shit. So all of a sudden we hear hella footsteps going back and forth upstairs. Somebody knocking on the door. So I'm just like, get y'all shit. Come on, get your mace out. Get y'all shit. We about to walk out this door together. So I already, like, when I get to the top of the steps, I'm already unlocking the corridor. I'm like, just throw y'all shit in the car. We about to pull off. Then we organize later. Y'all, this man thought I was coming out there by myself. Why when I go out there, his like I said, his car was back then. He looked and see all of us came out together. He jumped in his car and he pulled off so fast. So fast. It was crazy as fuck. Like, he didn't call no more or nothing. So the thing that got me weird is, for one, you call and saying you want to shovel. For one, you got my number off this Airbnb site. For two, you call and saying you want to shovel this snow that there's no fucking snow at 4 a.m. You call me 14 fucking times, and then you telling me like, no, don't wake nobody else up. Just come out here yourself. Is you fucking stupid? Like, it was just so much weird shit after weird shit after weird shit. So once he seen that I didn't come out there by myself and I was with them, he jumped in his car so quick, y'all, and pulled off. You called me 14 times, so when we come out, you get in your car and pull off? Y'all, it was spooky as fuck.
My husband and I decided to stay in the master bedroom downstairs because we didn't need the whole upstairs. Again, don't ask us why we booked a whole house, but we did. And pretty much the upstairs was going to be vacant, and we decided to stay in the master downstairs. We stripped the bedding. There was random hair in the bed. It was really gross. The bath mat in the bathroom had hair all over it. It was just like, there was a lot of good reasons at that point for me to get my money back, just based on the filthiness of the house. But it gets better. I took photos of everything, and then they did have a vacuum, so I vacuumed everything up afterwards because I didn't want to stay in a house that was kind of dirty. As we were watching television, didn't say anything to my husband, but in the meantime, he was like, you know what, I'm not really like sure about this place. Like, it seems a little like weird. The area seems a little strange, and like I feel like we probably would have been better off in a hotel. So he went ahead and was like, I can't book anything for tonight. I don't care if we lose the money on this place, as unfortunate as that sounds. And anyone hearing this right now probably think we're absolutely nuts, but we were trying to go with our gut feeling, and thank God we did. My husband did go ahead and book us a hotel, but we did have to spend the night in the house because there was nothing available that night. But I said nothing to my husband, but as we were watching television, I did hear as if there was somebody walking around upstairs on the second floor. So I didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. I just kind of looked at him and said, you know what, let's just go to sleep. So we did. We went into the master, locked the bedroom door, made sure everything else was locked as far as windows, and we decided to go to bed. A few hours passed by. It must have been like 2 or 3 in the morning, and my husband wakes up abruptly and goes, did you hear that? And I said, no, I didn't hear anything. He was like, I just heard something, like as if somebody was upstairs. And I said, okay. I said, well, listen, the door's locked. You know, if we hear something again, then we'll just call the police and just be like, listen, we're in the bedroom. We're not leaving the bedroom. This is the access to the house. Just get into the house and scope it out and see if there's anyone here. Didn't hear anything else the rest of the night, but in the meantime, my husband did not sleep, and he was searching through TikTok about our area that we were staying in, and it apparently was not the safest area that we were staying in. The next morning, we get ready. We decided to go out for breakfast, and we came back. And when we came back, everything seemed fine. We started packing up our bags because we knew we were going to leave the Airbnb and just not say anything to the host. And then I noticed that the microwave had humidity inside of it, again, as if somebody cooked. Now, mind you, after I saw it the first time, the day before, the humidity did go away after a while, but then I noticed it again, which freaked me out. It didn't smell food, but it seemed like somebody was cooking in the house. Packed up our bags, went up to the second floor because I was like, great, let me just check everything out. Let me just lower the higher the temperature in the house because we don't want to leave it freezing, and you know, obviously costs money to run the AC. So I said, let me just set it to a normal temperature so that way the house is comfortable for the next person who arrives. I was setting the temperature to the thermostat, and I heard like a banging on the window, and I noticed that the window was open and the blinds were making noise from the wind. And I was like, wait, what? It was not open the day before, and thought that was strange. I closed the window, turned around, and I noticed the closet door was slightly slid open, and I thought that was pretty weird. Went into the closet, went to open it, and I saw that there was a door. Now, it's very common in Texas to have a door from your closet that leads into your attic space, which is just like insulation. It's just like a dead attic space. But when I cracked the door open, I noticed right away that it was not an attic and that it was indeed a room. So me being me, I ran downstairs right away, grabbed my husband and said, we need to leave right now because there is definitely someone staying in this house. I don't know if they're here now. And I don't know, maybe they're going to come back. I have no idea. Maybe they know we're here. Maybe they are just squatters. Maybe it's the person who cares for the home when the owners are not around, but I don't want to be in this house with another person. So we need to get the hell out. And we did. We grabbed our stuff and we ran out the door, locked the door behind me. We left. Mind you, there are cameras around the house. So even if the Airbnb host were to look at her cameras, she would see if somebody was coming in and out of the house, unless this person was using the window upstairs to get in and out and was staying in that attic room, which actually was above where our bedroom below was located. So it made sense as to why we were hearing noises the night before, because they were directly above us. Now, I did not personally see anybody. It could all be in our head. I thought we were crazy the night before until I saw what I saw, and that freaked us out enough to, just really just get out of there. And we did notify the Airbnb host. She was kind enough to give us our money. She did have someone go over to the house to do a full scope of the house. So I'm assuming she had sent authorities over, and that is all we know. We don't know if somebody was in the house. We don't know if there was someone there while we were there. We have no idea. All I know is that we did get our money back, and she apologized profusely. And I'm very happy about that. And, for that, I will not be writing a bad review because I don't think that's fair because she obviously had no knowledge of it. But yeah, guys, sometimes just get a hotel instead of Airbnb. It ends up being, honestly, sometimes cheaper than doing an Airbnb.
You have a lot of people buying houses solely to make them Airbnb properties. You have people that owned houses and moved out, bought another house, moved out of the country, and they're using their properties as Airbnb properties. Now, realistically, there wasn't anything wrong with it in the beginning until people started doing crazy shit, okay? I was at a career day, okay? Speaking for a career day, which yes, I do speaking engagements, I host, I do a lot of different things, right? I was at a school career day and I happened to be sitting next to a girl that was, I'm not going to say the exact position, but let's just say it was something like a let me not say the word, a S-word crisis director coordinator, okay, for Airbnb. Now you guys are probably like, what are you talking about? What does that mean? I'm talking about people out here, okay? People are out here booking Airbnb strictly to off themselves. And it's so rampant and it's such an issue. It's such an issue that they have a legitimate position for someone to handle such crises. Okay, like the whole Airbnb situation has gotten so out of hand, okay, with the self-harm aspect of it, with the fact that people genuinely do not feel safe because a lot of these hosts are weird and they might pop up on you while you're in the shower, or they might, try to peek on you through their cameras that they didn't tell you were in the house. Like the list goes on and on and on. So it gets to a point where it's like, again, what is the actual benefit of booking an Airbnb, especially when you do not feel safe? Like the thing is, at least when you have a hotel, you might not know directly who's next to you, but at least the door's locked and nobody has your key, with the exception of whoever else you might have booked the room with. Okay, with an Airbnb, you don't know who's going to walk in. You don't know if that person has access to the house and will walk in at any given moment. You don't know if that person has a son or a daughter or whatever that might think the house is vacant and just walks in on you. Like, I heard so many crazy Airbnb stories that it's absolutely like mind-boggling to me how anyone still books an Airbnb and doesn't feel some type of way. But at the same time, I do understand the legitimate appeal. You have more space, you have a little bit more freedom, but at the same time, with more freedom comes responsibility. But sometimes the responsibility ain't given what it's supposed to. Because at that point, if you are cooking your own food, you're cleaning your own space, and then you come to the place and it's not a clean place, it's like, what did I pay for? It's just too much work, too many steps for me. Now, of course, Airbnb pissed off a lot of people, not just the consumer, not just the people that have these houses and were mad that their houses were being torn up by people that were having legitimate parties, because that was a really, really big thing. And that's part of the reason why a lot of these listings have a million different rules now. But no one was more upset than the long-standing hotels that felt like these Airbnbs were getting a pass. Now, this kind of could be a whole nother video in itself, but I'm not about to do all of that because I really don't care that much about this topic to sit there and make it a two-parter. But what you need to understand, right? Every sector of business has its own licensure and taxes. And it goes so much deeper than a lot of you would even care to know of. My mom has worked in hospitality for the past 25, 28, 2 decades, okay? Over 2 decades. So it's like, that's another reason I feel like I've always been a hotel person, because it's like, you know what? I want to support the housekeepers and the housemen and the hospitality that really go the extra mile to make sure that my stay is great. Like, I've always been really grateful to them. I always found their perseverance to be admirable because my mom works in hospitality, right? But the whole situation with the hospitality, the whole situation with Airbnb and hospitality in these hotels is actually crazy, because when you look at it from a business standpoint, hotels pay a lot of taxes. That's probably why, or not probably, that is the reason why in certain places there may be hotels that are way cheaper and there may be hotels that are way more expensive, right? You go to somewhere like New York, you're spending $250 for some nosebleed hotel, or literally standard $400 for something very, very regular, right? Even in Jersey, you're paying minimum like $200. You go to Miami, you're paying like $300, $400, so depending on where you are, the prices may fluctuate, right? But hotel owners have to pay a lot of taxes just to operate. When it comes to Airbnb owners, they weren't really paying anything for a very, very long time. So you can imagine if you are someone that owned a hotel and you're paying all these taxes to receive these people, and someone comes in to the game and they're not paying as many taxes as you, and they're basically skating by all the laws and regulations, you're not going to be too happy about that. And that's genuinely what happened. A lot of people that owned hotels and worked in hospitality started to complain. Now, this is on top of guests complaining, homeowners complaining, Airbnb just being negligent. Now you have hotel owners that are not happy. And then, of course, you have the cities and the states that are not having it, because a lot of the complaints are coming from the parties that are happening in Airbnbs. A lot of the complaints are coming from incidents that are happening in Airbnbs. And it's like, okay, so who's responsible? Is it the homeowner? Is it the guest? Is it Airbnb? And it just creates such a complicated situation to the point where now there's places that have banned Airbnb. There's places where, like, even if you have somebody else in your apartment ain't on the lease, they're going to evict your ass, because it's that serious.
This is what one California homeowner called a living nightmare. Watch as this couple roams the Santa Cruz house, rummaging through the refrigerator cabinets, the homeowner standing on the side, helpless.
Do you feel like a prisoner in your own home?
Absolutely. I have 8 security cameras in my house right now.
33-year-old Poonam Sandhu renting her master bedroom to this couple through Airbnb last month. Weeks into the contract, agreeing to transition to a cash-only payment not involving Airbnb. And that's when Sandhu says the payment stopped coming.
So I asked them very politely, it's time for you guys to go.
And did they go?
They did not.
A DC homeowner claiming an Airbnb guest has overstayed their welcome and will not leave.
The responsibilities are on me, and I can't get into my property. There's a leak in the property. The water bill is escalating. I can't get in there to see what's going on. I never gave her any tenancy. I never gave her a lease.
Roshane tried everything, gave her a 30-day notice to vacate, called police, went to court, and even offered Romero $2,500 to sign a paper admitting she's not a tenant and to get out. Romero signed the document, but didn't budge.
November the 15th came and she told me, this no longer works for me. Do what you have to do. I'm not leaving. I went to the police with my order, and they said there's nothing that they can do, that I need to go to court.
It's no laughing matter. These mansion parties and rentals have caused problems all across the country, and now Airbnb is saying it's creating a dedicated house party rapid response team to fight the parties.
A bunch of guys started fighting, and then after that, gunshots.
A mansion party at a California Airbnb ends in a shooting that killed 5 people. Over the weekend, Airbnb CEO taking a stand to ban all house parties in their rentals. In a series of tweets, Airbnb's Brian Chesky announced that they are redoubling their efforts to combat unauthorized parties and to get rid of abusive host and guest conduct.
Short-term rentals will not be allowed in manufacturing districts, and short-term rental owners will be required to account for local taxes that should be paid to the city. They'll also be required to have a business license, which will help make their properties safer for visitors.
It placed the burden on the property owner, property manager of that particular rental to have their property inspected to make sure the property is up to code, just to protect the public for life safety issues.
Suzanne Warfield describes herself as a super host, renting a room in her home for more than 2 years now, charging $100 a night. She made more than $14,000 last year. But now Ridgewood, New Jersey has put a ban on short-term rentals.
The Village Council has some legitimate concerns regarding, party houses, and that's not me. I am a single woman who is enjoying living in this community, and being able to rent a bedroom is allowing me to stay in my home during these difficult financial times.
There's been a lot of people who have had their peace wrecked due to Airbnb. I remember my second apartment that I lived at, literally the unit next to me was an Airbnb. So I had lived in a condo. And you know, everybody individually owned their condo, and this person next door never lived there. They just had an Airbnb. So like every weekend it was just these loud parties happening, and it was so annoying. I mean, I personally never said anything about it, but I'm very sure the condo association was very unhappy about it, because eventually, by the time I moved, I forgot what happened, but I know like it was a whole big thing about that. Because at that point you're disturbing the peace. There's so many people coming in and out. You don't know who they are. A lot of people were out here like booking these Airbnbs with fake identities and fake IDs. Like, y'all, it's just so much. So it's really not shocking that Airbnb fell the way it did. Honestly, I expected it to fall sooner. I really want to see what they're going to do to rectify all of this nonsense, because I honestly I don't think it could be fixed. Especially because now house prices are crazy. Okay, we are now in a seller's market, which means the seller has the upper hand. It is not a buyer's market right now. It is currently cheaper to rent than it is to buy. That's why I'd be so confused when people are so like all up in other people's business. Like, oh, why didn't you just buy a house if you're paying all that rent? Do you know that most of the time when you see a Zestimate, okay, because a lot of y'all be on Zillow and you think, oh, I can afford this house. You can't. I guarantee you, if it says $2,200 mortgage, it's giving like $4,500 mortgage after the fees, the taxes, the house insurance, etc. So yeah, I'm gonna stay somewhere where if I have an issue, I call the landlord, they come fix it. Fuck out of here. I don't have time for all that type of responsibility. Again, my ADHD will not allow it. Okay. But if you guys know anything about finance right now, yes, it is currently cheaper to rent than it is to buy. And a lot of times it's not even worth it. But can you imagine actually spending the money? Okay, actually spending $4,000 to $5,000 a month on a mortgage, and then you move next to an Airbnb. Like literally, Airbnb has been driving the price of houses to hell. Right? And it's like insane. It really is sad. It's kind of ruining a quality of life for a lot of people. HOAs are really not having it. It's just so much going on. So it makes me wonder like what the future of Airbnb is going to be, if people are going to continue booking it, because at this point because it is more expensive than booking a hotel. But also I'm just curious, like, how they gonna try to rectify this, because there's nothing they can really do. Like, the whole motto is rent your house, rent your apartment, rent your room. But a lot of the landlords ain't having that shit no more. A lot of the neighbors ain't having that shit no more. A lot of the states, the legislation, keep up. Rent your house where? So it's gonna be very interesting to see what the future of Airbnb holds. Like, I feel like it was nice while it lasted. You had all of these gurus out here talk about, oh, let me help you make 6 figures on Airbnb. Oh, well, you don't have to buy the house, just rent it and then you put it on Airbnb.
What if you could make thousands of dollars on Airbnb without home ownership? It's a lot simpler than you probably think. Would you be interested? I'm not selling you anything. I just want to give as much free information as possible. Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll do a mentorship at some point this year. I don't know. I have insane amounts of knowledge and I want to help as many people as possible. And I think it's quite wild when people are like, oh my God, there's someone selling a course or a mentorship or whatever. And it's like, of course they are. Like, why would they not if they have a way to help people and people want to pay for it? But this is all about the free content and how I can just help you to get started with Airbnb without money and free content.
You're hosting my property on Airbnb.
Let me do my thing and I'll keep paying you rent. Okay.
Hey, it's Ron. I'm gonna cut to the chase here. Are you hosting my property on Airbnb? Well, let me explain. I was doing some research on Airbnb and I was looking at a property that looks actually quite similar to mine. It's got your profile picture on it also.
All right, man. Yeah, that was me.
You're hosting my property on Airbnb.
Why not, man? Like, I'm renting the place, aren't I?
It's a clear violation of our lease agreement. 2, you signed a document stating that there will be no subletting.
Technically, like, I'm not subleasing. All right, I'm just like renting it out.
It's the same thing, Joe. My property is not zoned for short-term rentals.
Look, it's not like anything bad's like happened here, okay?
It's not about the damage, all right? If we start getting complaints from the neighbors that there's random people constantly coming in and out, the whole situation creates a lot of risk for me as a owner.
Let me do my thing, and I'll keep paying you rent, okay?
I can't wait to see the new hustle these scammers pick up as well, because like, let's be fucking for real, that's just ridiculous. Why would you even do that? Especially with if that person, okay, if the landlord wanted to put their shit on Airbnb, don't you think they would have did it? Why the fuck would they let you rent it to do that knowingly? Very rare you will find a landlord that really don't give a fuck like that. More than likely, you're not going to find a landlord that doesn't give a fuck like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you right now so you can save your coin. Go buy my merch instead, invest in membership, invest in the Patreon, I'm just saying. But with that being said, comment down below. Have you had any crazy experiences with Airbnb? Do you prefer Airbnb or hotels? Why or why not? And again, make sure you guys check out my other channels linked down below because y'all starting to disappoint me not understanding that there's different channels. With that being said, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.